wet our, paper. We can just wet everything is okay. Because actually, no, actually, let's not wet everything. Let's just wet up to the horizon. Up to the horizon. Because this is a snow scene, right? It's winter, there's snow. So we need to keep a lot of white for the snow. I choose this one is because that, there's actually not much to paint for this one, but we can still practice wet on wet. And then the tree will be wet on dry. And also this is, it's very, once we finish it, it will look good. So let's take like cobalt blue for the sky. We can have this is cobalt blue, and if you have cerulean blue or something, you can also add a little bit cerulean blue. So cobalt blue, cerulean blue, both are okay. I'm gonna add do I have cerulean blue here? So it's a very, very soft blue, right? It's a very soft blue. Cerulean blue has a little bit of green inside. If I don't have cerulean blue, but I can put a little bit, just a little bit of green inside, just to soft this blue. But you don't have to if you don't have it, you see? It's about this color. And then for the sky, because this is wet on wet, right? So for the sky, it's actually pretty easy. Because it is wet on wet, you just need to, all those white are the clouds. We don't need to have a complicated sky. We can have a very simple sky for this one too. So because it's wet on wet, so the paint will actually spread on the paper, and then it will. You see that I just lightly touch it, and then now. So we don't cover all the sky, right? Because there are like clouds, in the middle. We don't need to paint for that part. And then we can do the tree already. So for the tree, the point of painting this tree, we can also just use cobalt blue with a little bit of green, So if you have cerulean blue, you can just use cerulean blue. So this tree also is wet on wet. And then we just need to, you see, like the paint will actually, paint by itself, right? So I'm just making some of the, some shape of the trees. But this needs to be done wet on wet, right? So you see, like this side, I don't have enough water. You need even water, like water even. So this side, I don't have enough water, and then my paint doesn't spread well. And now, like actually, this is not, I will not advise you to do this because this, like, it needs a lot of experience. Now that I put water, but the water will just spread. So it's better that at the beginning, you can give, a nice, even layer of water from the beginning is great. So when I do, I also, I just give it a little bit of the tree shape. And this can be done with a Chinese brush, but you cannot find this type of good Chinese brush here because this is a natural hair and it can be like this. A good watercolor brush, but it cannot be as versatile as this. I ordered some of this brush from China. Once it arrives, I will let you know if you need to buy them. So this side is the same, but you see that because that I didn't put enough, not an even layer of water, so now it's not good because now the water is too much. So you need to, you really need to do this wet on wet with enough water. But not too much water. You can see, right? You see here too much water, then actually my paint doesn't stay on anymore. This is, the good amount of water. So you always heard of water control, water control in watercolor. This is water control. It's like how much water you have on your paper and how much water you have on your brush. And then if you want to do a wet on wet or wet on dry. Just give it a little bit of, so these are all the trays. All the trays. And here at the end, I also add some, if you have French ultramarine blue, you can just add a little bit of the French ultramarine blue, like at the bottom. So that it will give you some variation, right? And then for the sky, let's do one more time of the sky. I don't like this sky. For the sky, let's do it simple also. Just on top, we don't need to, we just cover everything on top, and it's okay. So it's easier. So on top is like that, and then it become it's kind of like a gradient, from top to bottom. But here, leave it white. We will do it just like that. So that's the sky. That's the top part. That's the top part. Let's make sure there is enough paint, because you see, here I don't have paint anymore, because the watercolor is that when it's dry, it will become lighter, right? When it's dry, it becomes lighter. Okay, so that's the top. And now we do the bottom. The bottom, another thing that I like about this one is because that this is a very simple, use of color. We can just use cobalt blue, type of blue. So I just use cobalt blue, and then sometimes I mix a little bit of the French ultramarine blue to make it darker. You can also mix a little bit of the cerulean blue to make it a little bit greener. So it's just to give a little bit of variety of the blue. Okay, and then for this it's the same. Let's make it a little bit darker. Okay, it's not dark enough. If you have the other, you can add also a little bit of the pale gray. Or if you have it's called a cerulean, so a dark blue, a cerulean blue, add a little bit of the pale gray is also okay. To make it, darker. Make it a bit darker, not too dark. And then the other one is this. So this blue, add a little bit of the what is that? Burnt sienna in it to make a gray. So this one is a gray. Burnt sienna is actually an orange, right? It's like a muted orange. So same, I will still do it wet on wet. But this time I will put a little bit less water. So wet on wet. And then, so this time, this way we can have a soft edge of everything. It's the same color actually. Just, where you see like there are, but try to also keep a little bit here and there. We will not do everything, but we will just do, a little. Give it a start. Okay, like a start is okay. So like the big shapes, I only did the big shapes, like the blue part of the big shapes. So, and the reason is that, actually these are all the shadows. We are painting the shadows because the snow also has thickness, right? We are painting the shadows. Okay. Use a smaller brush to do the top of the tree. And also, always the top of the tree are a little lighter, right? It's perspective-wise, because they become thinner and then it will become lighter also. You can put as much detail as you want for the tree. That's one of it, and then just let's add a few dark color. Type of gray. This is, you do it wet on wet. So veil is still wet. So you will add a few like dark color to it. Okay. And then the next one is the same. Remember, we use French ultramarine blue, and then we will add violet if you have violet. If you don't have violet, you can also add in red. And then let's also add in French pain gray, right? Pain gray, yeah. And then drop in. Well, it's still good to drop in some of the colors. Not everywhere, just a little bit here and there, just to give a little bit of texture this way. That's two of them. And then all this one, you see there are also like other trays. This one just take some of this and then mix a little bit of the burnt sienna to create, you know, kind of like a gray, warm. This is a warm gray also, right? It's a warm gray so that we have warm and cool. This one is like dark, so we need to paint this one a little bit nicer. That's one. Okay. And then the rest is even lighter. Very light. You see this? So let's do it very, very light and also very thin, right? Because it's far away. Just give like a little bit. It's okay. So just, you know, all these trays use a very light, just this blue color and mix a little bit of the French this burnt sienna inside to create this, you see, this gray, very light, and then to do all this. And after we did, you know, all this, you see, like all here, all this little, you know, little thing is actually it's the same. We can use the same, this color. And then you just go to, you know, it needs to be some are darker, some are lighter, right? So you just do a bit of the a little bit here and there, just give them, just copy this is okay. Just do this. Like here. Here are actually, you know, like some of them are actually a little bit greenish. So for example, like the bottom of the tray, there's shadows here. So you just give them a little bit of the shadows. It's gray shadows, it's also this color. Here, like when you do all this small grasses and stuff, there is also perspective, right? So the one that closer to you needs to be darker because you can see them more clearly. And then the one that further away from you should be a little bit lighter. But that's not always, and you also, just some of them, you make them a little bit darker. And then most of them are lighter, right? And then after that, we also need to give like detail of the house. For example, we need to paint the shadow of the house here, like casting shadows of the house. Maybe I let you to do the tree first, and after you do the tree, and then we can add all the other details. Okay. So let's do, like I will, so that you can finish this painting in class. Let's do the tree first, all the trees, right? And I will do also, so we can paint together. Okay. If you feel that there's not you want, for example, you want to add some color for your trace, right? How do you do that? What you can do is that, like, you need clear water. It's not very clear, but for example, so here I just want to add a little bit more color at the bottom of the trace. Then I will just put a little bit of the water first at the bottom. And then I will take, the color, and then I just dab it in. This is how you can, a little bit more water. Yeah. This is how you can, like add in a little bit of more color, but without having hard edges, and also make like everything blend together. Okay? But this, you need to wait until your paper is completely dry, and then you do that. Okay. Do we have any questions for this painting? This is actually a fairly, like a simple, right? Not too complicated. Okay. And let's finish it. There's still time. I think you can finish it. I will finish it too. When you paint the bird, also be careful, like some of them are, like darker, some of them are much lighter, right? So that's how you show their distance. Chinese brush, it will be easy. My color is too light, so like even I sprinkle some white on it, it doesn't show at all. So I will not, I will just sign my name.